All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another video. And so today I thought we'd do a video on Paul Stephen Haigh. So he is Victoria's worst serial killer. And yeah, the guy is an absolute psychopath. And I've got some crazy stories to tell about him as well. Yeah, but before we get into it, guys, if you haven't already, jump down there, shoot me a subscription. It still turns out that between 50 and 60% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So if that is yourself and you're enjoying my content, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely appreciated. And if you hit that little bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. And also, guys, we have paid memberships where you get members only videos and you get to see videos before I drop them, before everyone else does as well. All right, so Paul Stephen Haigh, let's get into it. So Paul Stephen Haigh, he was born on the 5th of September 1957, and he is right now serving 6 life sentences without the possibility of parole. And so one of them people was actually in prison. So, all right, let's get into it. So, shortly after, so he was pretty much a petty crim at the start, and so he was deemed Victoria's worst serial killer at the age of 21. So he's actually been in Pentridge since 1978. So like, only 3 years off 50 years being locked up. So I'm pretty sure he's Victoria's longest serving prisoner, and he ain't never ever getting out. But yeah, so he was just doing small crimes and stuff like that. But then I believe it was when he was 18. So he was, so it would have been around 1976 or something like that, 75. And yeah, so he done an armed robbery and he actually got locked up at Pentridge for that. And so he was released from Pentridge shortly after that. And very shortly after that, he robbed a pizza shop. And in the middle of that robbery, he shot and killed the pizza shop owner. So 48-year-old Bruno Sigliani, if I'm saying that right. So that was in 1978. And so, yeah, he shot and killed that man and got away with it too, and was able to get away without anyone knowing who had done it, except for people that knew him. So this right here was where all the chaos actually started. So he literally started getting paranoid, and so he started killing everybody that he knew about him killing the pizza shop owner. So yeah, he shot and killed one of his best mates, whose name was Wayne Smith. He was 27 years old. He then shot and killed Wayne Smith's girlfriend, whose name was Cheryl Gardner. And this is the brutal, craziest bit about it. So Cheryl Gardner's 10-year-old son was sitting in the car when he shot and killed her, and he didn't realize that the kid was in the car. And so he turned, what I'll say is he turned the gun on that child, and that child's life ceased right then and there on that spot. And yeah, like, that's just absolutely putrid. And like, I've done prison with this guy, and like, in some ways he's like a protected species. Do you know what I mean? He's got a lot of money. He inherited like millions and millions of dollars off his family, and he was the last remaining family member or whatever. So he inherited millions, and he's got a lot of money, and so like, people keep him sweet. But anyway, hearing that story, like, it was very hard not to make him wear like several shank sandwiches straight through his neck bone. I'm telling you, because it like burnt me to my soul. And like I literally like went to do something, and then one of my mates came and said, "Nah, don't do it, bro. It's not worth it. Like he's protected, you know." And but yeah, like an absolute psychopath. But you know, he continued on with his um killing, if you will. So he killed. This is like, so trigger warning as well. So he killed his girlfriend at the time, and so before he done that, he held her down and let his best friend sour grape her. So you know what that means. It's a very bad thing. And yeah, so he held her down and allowed his mate to repetitively do that to her. So absolute putron stuff. But yeah, then he stabbed her like he stabbed her like 18 times, I believe. And that was his own girlfriend. And then so he was sent to Pentridge Prison. And while he was in Pentridge Prison, he killed a child sex offender who was in the same unit as him, and so he killed. So his name was Donald George Heatherly, and so he was found hanging in his cell, and so what is believed happened. So what Paul Haigh tried to get the court to believe is that this guy asked him to help him unalive himself, and then he then continued to um, swing off his legs like a chandelier until he was no more. And yeah, the courts didn't buy that for 1 second, and yeah, he was like 100% sentenced to 6 different life sentences, and then got a seventh life that he done whilst he was in prison. And so yeah, an absolute maniac this guy is, and is probably exactly where he needs to be, that's for sure.
The Victorian Court of Appeal has granted a notorious serial killer the right to apply for parole at some time in the future. 53-year-old Paul Haigh is serving 6 life sentences for a series of murders in the 70s. 2 years ago, Supreme Court Judge Betty King ordered Haigh never be released. However, Haigh told the appeal court he's remorseful for the murders and poses no threat to society. 3 appeal court judges today set aside Justice King's ruling, and Haigh can now apply for a minimum sentence. The case will return to court at a date to be fixed.
So yeah, like I said, I done time with this guy, and I done time with this guy around this time when he was going for his appeal, and it was just hilarious to hear him say that he's reformed and all that, when you know damn well he's not. Like, the guy is an absolute psychopath. He's like 70 something years old now, and like literally is still getting caught with shanks all the time. Like, when I was in the unit with him, the guy was getting caught with shanks all the time. People attack him and stuff, but he will just go and attack him straight back with a shank. Like, the guy's a legitimate, like 100% psychopath. And so he was telling me this story one day about how he didn't meet his sister until he was 36 years old, and then she was coming into Pentridge to visit him, and he fell romantically in love with her, which is just like putrid. And like, he was getting his sister to come and visit him, and like he was pleasuring himself. Like, it was just putrid, like full psychopathic, just mental stuff. And so this I've got this other like story that happened, and so um this was when I was at Port Phillip, and I was borrowing. He had this Tibetan Bells CD that I used to like listening to when I was going to sleep. So if you don't know what Tibetan Bells are, it's just all these bells ringing, and it's like quite relaxing. Buddhists listen to it, and anyway, so when I went to give him this CD back one day, he said, hey, do you want to listen to something that I listen to go to sleep? And I was like, yeah, all right, why not? And so he gives me this CD, right? And it was a burnt CD. And so you couldn't have burnt CDs. So, you had to have like a screw on the take or something like that to get a burnt CD. And so, anyway, I totally forgot about it. And then when I went to go to sleep that night, I realized that I'd given him the CD back, which made me realize that he gave me a CD to listen to, right? So I put this thing in my CD player and I lay down in bed and I'm going to go to sleep, right? And this thing starts playing like the most, it just sounded like, and then just all this screaming and like it sounded like just sickening screaming and all this. So you can actually hear this sound, right? So this sound is actually a song from the movie Heat with Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, and Robert De Niro. And so if you listen to the soundtrack on YouTube of this, it's one of the songs. You'll have to go through them all. I can't remember which one it is, but it was that song, right? That song goes for like 4 minutes, and he had that song dubbed over and over and over. So like it was like 5 or 6 hours of like just that screaming stuff. And this guy used to listen to that every single night when he went to sleep. And so I've also got something to show yous. And I'll just chuck the camera a little bit back for a second. And this is a painting that Paul Haigh done for me, right? And so this painting is actually bonkers. So like I don't know if you can see it, but you can see there how where it says my name there is a different color than the rest of it. So because he is a serial killer and he is an artist, like his art is worth money. So like it's almost impossible to get his art out. So what he did was the painting billets have the painter's tape, that blue painter's tape. And then what he did was do the exact same painting. You can see this is years old now. So I got this out in 2018. And so, but he painted the exact same painting over the masking tape and then painted my name on it, so I could say that I painted it. And like it's a wild painting. And so like it's got like all of those that look like rocks. They're not. They're all skulls and bones, and all those pictures up in the background. They're all snakes and serpents. And so that there is actually the tree is actually a lady like bending back. You can see her arm there and like her breast there. But then if you like cover that, it's actually a man like holding up his like torso. That. A lot of details going into it. The guy is an actual, like, legitimately good artist. But what I'll do is I'll chuck a picture of this painting in this video so you can pause it and have a good look. But it's just bonkers. And so what was really funny about it is I asked him to do me a painting. And so I was kicking in Bupe at the time and had strips and strips of it. And I said, "Oh, how much do you want for it?" And he said, "Oh, give me a strip." And I said, "Nah, no way. Like it's just a painting, bro. You do them all the time." I said, "I'll tell you what. I'll give you one deal of Bupe for it." And so that's how much I gave him. And I asked him to do me up a letter of authenticity for it. I haven't been able to find it. It is with all my jail stuff just over there. I will find it, but it's so funny because the letter of authenticity starts off like this. It says, "I sold this painting to Biff for less than a pittance." That's the exact words. He was so filthy that I made him like that. I only paid one deal of chicken for this. And I spent a lots of time with this guy. I got stuck in the cell with him a few times over the Port Phillip fire, and like just heard some crazy, crazy, crazy stories. Like the guy is an absolute he's an absolute psychopath. And he's been under investigation for other killings in prison, but none of them come to fruition. But the guy is an absolute bloody psychopath. And he's definitely where he needs to be, like one of the most crazy characters I ever met in prison.
Nothing that I've seen or heard from Paul Haigh over the last 30 years gives me any confidence that he's reformed himself. I think he's a psychopath and is not capable of re-entering society. And I think he gave up his right to ever come back into society. When you murder a 9-year-old child in front of their mother, when you stab someone 157 times and then have sex with them after they die, that person's not human, in my view. And every time his name comes up into the papers, it just, here we go again, it just re-traumatises everyone. I wish he would just accept what he's done.
And I believe he, some years ago, tried to contact you.
Yes, he did. About 10 years ago, he sent a message out that he wanted to apologise to my son for the death of his father. So I rang the prison and got a message back to him. I don't want his apology, and my son doesn't want his apology. So it's of no purpose to me. It's not going to change how I feel.
Do you think he can change?
I don't, no. I can't reconcile what he did with somebody. I mean, look, I think every one of us are capable of murder given a set of circumstances. You know, there's people in jail that might have killed their wives or husbands in a fit of rage, and I think someone like that could come out back into society and live amongst us, but not what he's done. I just can't reconcile that, and I don't ever believe that he could.
Well, as you can see, just a sick piece of shit. And yeah, I don't care saying that because that's exactly what he is. And I thought that he definitely deserved a place in our Melbourne's most feared. Maybe not the underbelly most feared, but definitely Melbourne's most feared. And the guy is like, even though he's a putros, people are scared of him in prison, even though he is an old man. Like, he's got, form for killing people inside prison, and that puts fear in people. So, but yeah, he's currently sitting in a unit where he's probably never ever getting out of, and it's the new unit at Barwon for the serious violent offenders. And yeah, he'll probably see the rest of his time in there, to be honest, because he's always in and out of the slot for like shank sandwiching people and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely deserved a spot here. But yeah, there you go. Paul Stephen Haigh, Victoria's worst serial killer, and yeah, he definitely deserves that title, and he is a right nutcase as well. One of the craziest people I ever met in prison. But anyway, if you guys have got anyone else you'd like me to do a video on, chuck it down there in this comment section of this video. Yeah, because we're about to move on to our Sydney stuff, and I'd like to put everyone's videos what they'd like in the Melbourne ones before I jump over to the Sydney stuff. So yeah, if you've got anyone you'd like me to do a video on, reaction video, whatever, chuck it down there in the comment section of this video, and I'll do my utmost best to get around to it. And yeah, so yeah, we're on to bigger and better things. I went and done some filming at the Herald Sun today, and yeah, we're filming a series there. So yeah, that'll be good. Keep your eye out on the Herald Sun website for that. That'll be pretty good. And yeah, I'll be able to drop some stuff on here as well. And yeah, so get my license back next week. Went and bought DJI Mike Mini. So you know what that means. We're getting out there and getting amongst it. Like I said, we wouldn't go into them crazy spots where I said would take yous all. And yeah, if you guys haven't already subscribed, now's the time to subscribe. Just on to bigger and better things now for the Chaos Chronicles, and onwards and upwards, as I say. But yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, jump down there, shoot me a subscription, tap that bell icon. You'll never miss any of my clips again. And don't do drugs and crime, and you won't end up in prison with Paul Stephen Haigh, like worrying if he's going to bloody shank sandwich you in your sleep or something.
The Chaos Chronicles, where the darkness thrives. True tales of